Hey, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about magical tool in Photoshop that can bring a lot of information and allow you to reimagine the photo in a new way. So here just make sure that you are in the photography dashboard, or you can choose to go with essentials. And here just below the eyedropper tool you got this spot healing brush, and this is spot healing tool. It's a magical, it comes with a lot of options. Here you can change the size of this brush, you can make a bigger selection, you can make it fine-tuned, and you can select the hardness, the impact here, and the spacing. So here just try this thing. So when its hardness is set to 0, it will barely infect anything. Make it 100% or something large, and here's the magic. We have cleared the spot of the ribbons with the um, surrounding beach or the sand areas. So spot healing tool is a magical tool in two ways. So in one way you can bring some lost information in vintage photos and a different kind of things, and in the other way spot healing also helps you reimagine the image by removing unwanted components from the image very easily. So what does spot healing do? It just takes the average of the surrounding pixels and refills the selected area with the side by areas. It do this thing by taking the average of nearby objects. So here sometimes the result may not be monotonous and it can change over time. So here when you hover around some dense pixels with different colors, you can see different results over multiple times. So just hover around. So here we got a domesticated horse, and I'm trying to just remove all the ribbons and the bands on the belts from this horse and try to keep it free. So we want to liberate this wild animal into the wild area so he can roam around in the wilderness as he wants. So we have to remove the ribbons, and our current selection is quite large in size, so just make it a little bit smaller. And here we are removing the hands of the owner, human, to set this wild animal free. Spot healing also allows you to mask or remove some people from your photos. Like if you're traveling to a tourist place and it has a dense crowd there, and sometimes there could be a few people in the background just making your photo complete nonsense. And if you want to share it in the public domain, you want some strangers to be removed. Only you and the background must be visible. So spot healing will help you definitely in a lot of scenarios. And here we are trying to do the same things. So this was a difficult subject to apply spot healing because this horse contains a lot of hairs. It has different textures. Also, it contains a variety of colors. Like our belt is in dark black color, and some section of the horse's skin and the face is generally in the dark brown. So it is difficult to distinguish between the black and the brown color here. When it's the subject is in the sand area or in the white skin, it is easy to remove, but you can do with over time. So just hold down the Control Z shortcut key on the keyboard to undo any failed attempt here. You have to try this thing in the multiple ways, because as you can see here, when you apply spot healing on a particular section of the image, it will generate different results over time. Say you may differ with a little bit angle, and if you are using a drawing tablet, it would be a very good thing to do, but you can always do with a mouse. Currently I'm using a mouse here to demonstrate this thing. And here we have some in the image, we can have some difficult segment to choose color. So here we have 3 or 4 overlapping colors: the black belt, the pink mouth of this horse, a white, and the brown skin tones, and the sandy desert. So spot healing brush gets confused. So what is the way out here? So simply you can zoom in and make your selection area small. This is a large image with a lot of details, generally shot with a DSLR camera, or you can use a mobile camera these days also have a lot of information. So it's better to zoom in and sample the pixels the way they are. So here, when you zoom in, the things became very easy and smooth. So you can easily remove some sections, although some sections could be difficult, and you can try using different orientation of this spot healing. Say if you are applying a horizontal uh, marking of this spot healing, so you can try using a different angle, try to make a C out of here. And you need to practice as much as possible with this spot healing tool, and over time your editing gets better. So try to reimagine the photos the way you want and remove unwanted sections. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about a spot healing brush in Photoshop with an example. So here we got a difficult image to apply spot healing brush because it has a lot of different colors and a detailed barbed wire in front of a scenery. So here we have a natural scene with a lake, a mountains and the sky, and we want to remove this barbed wire to have a clear view. It is easy to remove the segment that has been in the sky, that is overlapping the sky, because we got a clean background, and we can just make the selection with the spot healing with the adequate size, and we can just hover around to remove the selection, remove this barbed wire. But when it comes to the mountain and other complex image that has some details, it would be rather difficult to average the pixels next to it. So here we are just first trying to remove the sky segment of this barbed wire. Sometimes you want to remove different things. A lot of tourist places these days have a lot of boundaries, restrictions, different kind of signboards and borders and fences that don't allow you to take a good shots of the scenery. So what to do? If you know Photoshop well, you can remove some of those components and sometimes all of those components using a lot of tools. So spot healing brush is one of the things that you can use. You can use a patch tool and other tools as well. So here you need to be patient. You need to select everything one by one. Don't try to be very quick here because a spot healing brush uh, takes the average of the pixels next to it. So you have to give it time. So if you take a brush with a very large size to make a complex selection, it won't do its work very well. So with the Photoshop, we are not just creators. We want to be fine-tuned in our work. We want our work to be precise uh, and a high quality. So we do this thing very seriously. Moreover, if you want to remove some big segments from the image, it's better to increase the size of the brush itself. Just increase the size of the spot healing brush and make it a little bit more bigger to remove it clearly. So here got this work done very easily. But here you can see that a bigger size won't be handy in some scenarios that has a detailed complex in. So just reduce it to fit the requirement. If you got a very fine uh, removal subject, you can zoom in to the photo and choose the adequate size of the brush to remove individual segments. You need to be patient and remove individual components very easily. You can play something in the background like a music and just do this thing to keep it interesting. So here just make it a little bit faster and select those segments. One tip here, you can create some lines or the curves. Don't just click once. You need to click and drag. It's better to drag inverse toward the subject that you want to remove because it will take the sample from the different angle or the nearby pixels. You can make C, you can make L, you can make I, or different shapes or anonymous shapes. You can make curves or anything. Just try to move your spot healing brush as if you are painting over a particular segment. If you have a mouse or if you have a drawing tablet, you can use either of them. Here flow doesn't matter very much and you can easily remove. So here we got this mountain segments, and we need to be a little bit careful because sometimes we can alter the images as well, because it may create some new peaks or new ridges that the mountains are generally not having in this scenario. So you need to be a little bit careful. Or it can also spill some images, like if you select the pond and the mountain as well, it will spill some soils or the vegetation in the lake, and it doesn't look very good. So you need to make a little bit clear selection, and here it looks like muddy and we need to clear it. So even if it makes your image not too good, you can just increase the size, change the size of the brush and try to make it clear, and just apply the brush multiple times over the same segment that you want to remove. Otherwise just press the undo multiple times the way you want. Okay, so we can try to remove different segments, but let's leave a few segments of this barbed wire. We don't want to completely remove this thing out of the screen, even although if we can try, but just try to keep it for the learning purpose. You can apply the same mechanism here and remove everything in the photo, and try to keep the photo natural. Sometimes you cannot remove everything that is not desired in the photo. It's better to take multiple shots of the photo. This photo was not intended to remove this in post processing. Otherwise we could have a different shooting angle for the camera itself, or we can put the camera between the barbed wire to get the clear view. However, this photo could have been shot uh, with the barbed wire in the focus, but here we want to remove it for the learning purpose. So when you're trying to learn any tool in the Photoshop, say spot healing or patch tool, first try to learn with a simple image that you can do the things very easily, and then try to take a difficult subject to do, as this photo was a little bit difficult, but we try to remove almost a lot of things here, and we cleared a lot of things here. So you can see we got a clear view. We have removed some parts of the boundary, and this was the earlier photo, and the final photo looks a little bit good. Try to do this thing on your own. Keep learning and keep moving ahead.